in the first fight. That affected him from round 2 on. Busted nose.
Stop.
Was drinking Gatorade in the corner. Told us that affected him. He said, I know these are sounding like excuses, but they are facts. They are things that happen. And Joshua Franco said, you know what? I think I've seen all that Moloney can bring. And it just made me more confident now that I have the belt. More confident that I got to go in there and defend it. And I really feel like I've seen his best. And all I need to do is continue to do more of the same what I did in the first fight.
Joshua Franco's doing a really good job at timing Moloney as he comes in. He's landed 3 or 4 really good chopping right hands over the jab of Moloney.
Joshua Franco, trained by Robert Garcia out of the Robert Garcia Boxing Academy in Southern California, one of the strongest stables in all of boxing in the U.S. Robert Garcia Jr. in his corner as well. Andrew the Monster Moloney out of Kingscliff, Australia. Angelo Hyder in the corner with him, who used to train Vic Darcini, Chris John, Danny Green, among others. Looking for revenge here inside the bubble. Also has his brother in the corner as well.
This is exactly what Moloney needs to do in order to win this fight. He needs to stay on his toes, keep moving, land combinations, tie his man up, get in, get out, don't take any damage. Just be the busier man. Because I don't think he can match punch for punch or power with Franco.
Franco was the underdog coming into the first fight.
Got an eye with the
it looks
head.
like he has a little bit of swelling
Yeah.
there over his right eye. There you heard referee Russell Morris say it's from an accidental headbutt.
That's swelling fast.
So some adversity here for Franco early.
Hands free, hands free.
Joshua Franco has Mike the Mechanic Basil in his corner. Andrew Moloney, Jacob Stitch Duran is his cut man. The 2 staff cut men, the whole series of this bubble series, if you will, Top Rank has hired them to be the designated cutmen for all of the fighters here, from fight 1 all the way through the main event.
Now, one thing I like about Andrew Moloney is he does everything pretty textbook. You know, he throws the 1-2-3. He puts the hook behind the right hand. He puts the jab behind the puts the right hand behind the jab. I mean, the way you're supposed to do it is the way that he boxes.
Eye is shut. Accidental headbutt. Accidental headbutt.
Let's take a look at that.
And you can hear that. We can't
take a deep breath.
See here as you take a look at the guys in the corner. Mike the Mechanic Basil is going to get to work on that eye. It's the right eye of Joshua Franco.
You're a little short getting out.
That was from an accidental headbutt. Here's a look in the Moloney corner. And it was Moloney dealing with the adversity in the first fight from the perforated eardrums and the broken nose. And here's Joshua Franco possibly fighting with one eye the rest of the fight if they let it continue.
Yeah, there was a call from the referee that it was accidental, so if it did stop, they'd go to the scorecards after a few rounds. But, you know, looking at the replays here, we're seeing good work from Moloney. He had a good opening round. He got hit with a few chopping right hands early, but for the most part, he was able to use his boxing skills, movement, and combination punching to control the round.
Oh.
That eye is swollen.
And it is swollen pretty shut there for Joshua Franco, and that is unfortunate for him, particularly because, as you mentioned, Chris, it was an accidental headbutt. The rules are the unified rules of boxing, and they will go to the scorecards after 4 rounds are completed in the case of an accidental foul. But it would be a no decision if the foul caused a stoppage before 4 rounds. Chris, you've had to deal with some of that in your career. Just talk about what the adversity is like. I mean, pretty much being able to only fight with one eye. I mean, we're talking a long way to go here.
Well, yeah, but the good thing about it is that it is his back eye. It's not the lead eye. So you'll be able to see your opponent's punches coming. You're just going to be very careful to not avoid, to look out for that left hook, because that's the shot that you're really not going to be able to see because it's that right eye in the back.
A tremendous disparity in the amount of punches thrown in round 1. 101 punches thrown from Moloney compared to just 38 for Joshua Franco there in round 1. They both landed about the same amount, but that work rate very high for Moloney to start.
Yeah, and that's kind of to be expected for the most part. Moloney is the boxer of the two. Joshua Franco is the more powerful fighter, the more precise fighter. And we saw that in the first fight as well.
Come over here.
I think that they're already going to have the doctor take a look at this as it continues to swell.
I mean, he's still got a slit. He can still see. Andrew's being very smart here to try and really push the pressure and take these rounds, because if this does get stopped short and we go to the scorecards, he can take the title right here.
And it's almost kind of like a target. It becomes a target, right? You go right for that eye, that lead left hand to the right eye of Joshua Franco.
It's a double-edged sword for Moloney, because if he moves to that way, Josh will have trouble seeing him, but also he's moving into the dangerous right hand of Joshua Franco. So I think what Moloney is doing is really smart. It's just boxing and really sticking to the game plan. He's not doing anything different.
Watch your heads.
Ooh, there's that right hand I was talking about from Joshua Franco.
Nice combination there for Franco as Moloney ties up.
Stop.
Moloney not wanting to sit in front of Franco. Says, I need to... He kind of contradicted himself a little bit. He's like, I want to hit and not get hit, but I also moved too much in the first fight. So he kind of went back and forth in terms of what we expected to see in terms of his game plan. Right now, a lot of that movement, but he's at least working the jab off of it, being effective and throwing punches while he's moving.
He's boxing beautifully right now. In and out, letting his hands go, being very busy, but also not working too hard. It doesn't look like he's setting a pace he can't stick to.
Went to the body there with the left hand, and then a nice combination there from Moloney. And you can tell that Franco is bothered. He typically lets his hands go a lot more, and you see that high guard, him sticking to his defense more, protecting that eye.
Even without that eye, I think he'd be having trouble with the skill set that Moloney's bringing right now.
And you know, I know Robert Garcia. I've covered a lot of his fights and his fighters' fights. He's a very smart trainer, and I think he senses if his fighter's in a little bit of trouble, maybe down 3 rounds to nothing, knowing that it would go to the scorecards after 4 rounds, he may say something like, my fighter can't see, my fighter can't continue, knowing that he would still walk away with the belt.
Not for nothing, I've seen that happen before with Robert Garcia.
We have, with Mikey Garcia when he fought Juan Carlos Burgos.
With his nose, yeah. And I've seen it at lower levels as well.
Tell me what you got, Coach. I'm
Here we see more of Moloney's boxing from the outside. There's that overhand right from Joshua, which I said has been his primary weapon thus far. But for the most part, it's been the activity of Andrew Moloney that has been winning these rounds on my scorecard.
Get out low and smart. Get out low and smart. Breathe deep.
Yeah, that eye is shutting fast.
Stay on that 6.
Time!
They're going to take a good look at it here.
You can't see.
And I think that they're going to call the fight here. No, and I think Moloney thinks that he's the champion.
Agreed that he cannot continue due to the accidental headbutt.
But that's not the case.
We're starting the 3rd round. 4 rounds have not been complete. That is a no decision. That is correct.
Correct. That is correct. In fact, it is going to be a no decision.
Oh, Moloney's saying that was a
punch. He's saying it's from a punch. But the referee made a clear distinction right after it happened that it was because of an accidental headbutt.
And multiple times. And
for Moloney, that's quite unfortunate, because that's a long way from Australia to come here and have a no decision in a fight. And you can see now, no pun intended, that Franco cannot see out of that right eye. And he walks away still the challenger. Franco walks away still the champion, in a disappointment here in our co-main event tonight.
Very anticlimactic to what could have and probably would have been a fantastic fight. I've been talking about this fight all week. I was really excited for this rematch. It's a shame that it had to end this way.
That's unfortunate. The doctor stops the fight in round 3. And I mean, I'm sure both of these guys are honorable men. Both of them probably will figure out a way to run this back somehow. I don't know. As far as scheduling and availability, we have a...
It was an accidental headbutt in the 1st round. It was an accident. Well,
that's another thing. You know, us being in studios, we can't see another angle. We couldn't see another angle when it was happening.
And Bob Arum, as you can see, adamant that it was caused by a punch. And here is Robert Garcia being interviewed by Brenda Osuna. And we're going to hear Mark Chinook with what the commission has decided will be the decision in this fight. And we'll give you a chance to hear from both of these men after we get the decision, before we get to our main event tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, here inside MGM Grand at the conclusion of round number 2, due to an accidental headbutt and the bout not going 4 rounds, this bout is declared a no decision. Franco retains his WBA Super Flyweight World Championship.
And you can read the lips.